Hello, prisoners of St. John's. Well, it's that time of year once again where we reach out to everyone at St. John's and look to you for your financial support for the coming year. Of course, every year we have a theme for our annual budget campaign, and this year the theme is Give in Faith. We chose that theme because this year we want to get back to basics and talk about why we give to the church, where our money goes, and the spiritual meaning behind that process. You see, most of us know at some level that the church needs financial support. To help us understand this more clearly, in the campaign material this year, we've laid out where that money's spent. And as you'd expect, your contribution goes to support the infrastructure and ministries of our parish. They go to support all the things we do to be a church, all the ways we help one another grow in faith and live out that faith in our lives. But of course, being a church takes money. And it's just amazing to see how much we spend on things that don't immediately come to mind. Things like insurance and utilities and so many unseen expenses that just increase every year. But where our money goes, while important, ought to pale in comparison to why we give. Because why we give, that is, the meaning behind our giving, that's the thing that helps us grow in our faith and enrich our spiritual lives. You see, spiritually speaking, giving does several things. First and foremost, giving financially honors God. Psalm 96, verse 8 says, "Ascribe to the Lord the honor due his name. Bring offering and come into his courts." Sometimes that very verse is said in church before we pass around the offering plate. It's a reminder to us that when we give, we honor God in that process. You see, my friends, God loves his church. And giving to God's church and its mission is the way we offer a sacrifice of the fruit of our labor to the Lord. It's an ancient biblical principle that goes all the way back to creation, a process instituted by God to help us remember that all we've been given comes from God, and it's to our spiritual benefit to give a portion of that back to God. Of course, giving financially is also an indicator to ourselves of where we focused our priorities. Do we prioritize God in our giving, or more secular and more self-oriented giving? You see, giving can be a true act of devotion, and therefore a devotional practice like prayer, study, and worship. A practice that helps us grow in our faith, enrich our lives, and connect more deeply to God. For the Christian, therefore, giving to the church ought to be part of our normal spiritual lives, a means through which God will bless us and by which God's church can carry out its mission. Now, I want you all to know that the vestry, the finance committee, and myself are all so very well aware that we've asked for lots of financial support this past year. And there are folks who have pledged to the Trinity campaign and are working to pay off that pledge. And while that pledge is essential, it's important to remind everyone that so too is the budget of our church. So this year, I hope each of you will prayerfully consider how much to give and offer a pledge of that giving so that we can create a robust and healthy budget for 2025. Remember, our budget is based solely off your pledges, so please give generously. If you've never pledged before, please know that we need your support, and the pledge material has information about how to make your pledge. If you're a regular giver, thank you so much for your continued support, and know how much we're counting on you to continue to help us as we move forward. Finally, let me just close by thanking all of you for your prayers, for your pledge, and for all the ways you support and bless our church family. May God's blessing be with you in this season of the life of our church. God bless you all.